Hey there, this is Shim for Body and Mind, and today's topic is, can we only sit and meditate? The answer is no. There are other forms of meditation. I personally haven't tried it, but I do have the knowledge and I will share with you. So first, let me say that some experiences can be only achieved through sitting, especially chakras. Chakras cannot be done while you run, walk. The only way to obtain the experience of chakras is by sitting. Chakras goes from your root to your crown, and your spine needs to be really erect and straight, and your focus levels needs to be really high to focus on different energy points, and all of this can be only achieved when you sit. It cannot be achieved when you run or when you walk or when you talk or eat. So definitely some forms of experiences can be only obtained through sitting. So definitely chakras for sure, because I've done chakras and I have experienced it, and there's no way that you can achieve that when you run or when you walk or when you talk. Okay. And the other thing is, meditation term can be confusing because we are using meditation for everything. So I'll tell you my experience meditating while I was sitting, and while I was running and working, I had a different experience. I would not say that as meditative experience, but I can relate those experiences with meditation. Okay, so while I was running and while I was working, I had a certain meditative experience which I can relate with the meditation which I do while I was sitting. So while I was working, what happened was, I was working on a task, and I was working so intensely, and I was so focused into the task that 2-3 hours passed away and I didn't know, because I was so focused on the task. So there is a deep focus on a certain task which can skip the hours. So you are in a focused state of mind. And also when I was running, I was running on the rocks. So I wanted to try this new thing, and I tried to run on the rocks. So when you run on the rocks for the first time, especially, you are very careful and you're focusing on the rocks. So what happens is, once you constantly focus on the rocks, it felt like the rock became part of me, because I was just constantly focusing on the rocks for a certain period of time. And this can take to a different state of mind where you are just focusing on the rocks. Okay, now I can relate this work which I was doing, and 2-3 hours passed away while I was working, and also running with my meditation while I was sitting. Okay, now when you sit and meditate, the first stage of meditation is giving attention to breathing, or giving attention to your surroundings. So you are giving attention. Okay, now while I ran and while I was working, I was giving attention. That does not mean that is meditation. That is focusing on one object or focusing on one action. That is giving attention. Okay, now when you sit and meditate, what happens is, the first thing you do when you meditate is giving attention to your breathing, giving attention to your energy points. But what happens after that is, you witness everything. You go into a witness state where you start witnessing everything. So now that's where the meditation starts, when you start to witness everything. And this witnessing is happens when I did meditation many times. This witnessing happens only few times. Most of the times I am in a focused state. I am giving attention to different energy points or breathing. So That's also a part of meditation, but the actual thing begins when you start to witness. That's a whole different level of experience that you have. Now you have this meditative state. I had this meditative state even while I was running and also while I was working, because I was so focused on one thing or one action that it took me to a meditative state. Now, when I say meditative state, I mean that it's a first level of meditation where you give attention, okay? But that is not actual meditation. Actual meditation comes into play when you actually witness everything, okay? Now, if you want to term that as meditation, you can term it, but according to me, you go into a meditative state when you actually witness everything. When you become this witness and you're conscious of everything that goes around you, and you are in the state of consciousness, you're just witnessing. Now, the difference between giving attention and witnessing is attention is towards one point and you're excluding everything. Witnessing is you are witnessing everything. You are conscious of everything that's going around you. That means you're conscious of if you're hearing something, you're conscious of that. You're conscious of energy point. You're conscious. Everything, you're witnessing it. Now, this thing can be only experienced. It's hard to explain witnessing. You have to experience it, okay? Now, when I say there are different forms of meditation, as there is, you can be witness. So I have this, I read this, that you can actually focus on breathing. So when you focus in, you're actually having a rebirth. When you are actually breathing out, you are actually dying, because every breath you take, it's a rebirth. Every breath you exhale out, you're dying, okay? And this is the knowledge that I have. I didn't experience this, but I can share the knowledge. So actually you can focus on the breath, and there is a gap that happens when the breath goes in and when the breath goes out. So there's a minute second gap, and if you can witness, if you can be in that center and if you can witness everything, then you can be in a meditative state. Now, this thing is the knowledge that I gained, but I haven't experienced it, okay? The experience that I have is when I was focusing on the third eye, okay? I can definitely say that I had an experience of witnessing when I was focusing on the third eye. So that's why I say there are different forms of meditation. It's not necessary that you sit and meditate, but the thing is practice, okay? The practice is the key for meditation, okay? You can have knowledge. I do have knowledge, but I haven't practiced that yet. It's a difference. But I do have experience. I experienced third eye and witnessing for sure while I was sitting and meditating. I haven't experienced other forms of meditation while I was running or walking. So running and working, that's different. Attention is different from meditation. Okay, it can be really confusing what meditation is, what is giving attention. Okay, now I gave you my knowledge. So my knowledge is meditation is witnessing, and it's not giving attention. Initially, yes, but actual meditation is all about witnessing, okay? And there are different forms of meditation that you can try. It's not necessary that you just sit and meditate, but when you do other forms of meditation, keep in mind you need to be in a witness state. That means you're witnessing everything. You are in this conscious state where you are conscious of everything that's going around you, okay? Hopefully I'm able to explain this. This is a little bit tough topic to understand, and it was tough for me to explain it because it's not that easy. The main thing you need to understand is the difference between attention and meditation. Attention is not meditation. Attention is exclusive. That means that it excludes everything and you're focusing on a single object. Okay? Meditation is going into a different state of mind where you're conscious of everything. You can also put it as you are in a deeper now. You are in a deeper present moment. Even when you're in now, I think there are deeper levels of now. There is a basic level of now, and there is a deeper levels of now where you can actually witness everything very, very deeply. I can say this because I experience now in a different levels. I experience now normally. When I focus on one thing or when I focus on my surroundings, that's one state of now. And when you actually meditate, it's a different state of now. Your consciousness is entirely different when you meditate and when you are in the present moment. It's totally different than you just observe everything and you just are conscious of everything. It's hard to explain. I'm just saying that there are deeper levels of now. So the whole point of this video is, yes, you can try other forms of meditation other than sitting. So try it out, experience it. Thank you and namaste.